She should be on in a sec.
Hi.
Good to see you online. All right, so
Finally, face to face.
yeah. So we've been kind of chatting here and there for the last few months. Not so much, but now recently you've had that issue with Heidi. And if people don't really know, Kendall and Heidi, they were on the season 1 of Just Landed, one of 3 couples, and I think they were the more interesting ones that were on. So Kendall is you're from Boca Raton?
Yes, but I actually live in Deerfield Beach now.
Okay. And Heidi's from Tunis or Tunisia?
Gamarth, Tunisia. It's near Le.
Okay. So briefly, what's your background? You don't have to go too in depth or anything, but for those that don't really know you too well, just really brief though.
I grew up internationally, and I've lived in Canada, England, and Saudi Arabia. 2 different times. I'm not Arabic. I'm actually German Irish. I also was a collegiate athlete, came back to Florida, and I just have a career in the telecommunications industry. I have an MBA from FAU in international business, and a pretty small family. I'm an only child, and I love dogs. That's my life, I guess. And
you're a power lifter or just a CrossFitter or something?
Oh yes, I played Division I volleyball at the University of Virginia. I'm a career athlete. I've been Olympic lifting since 2002. So pretty much my whole athletic career, and I still Olympic lift to this day as long as my joints can hold me up.
Yeah, same with me. When you get in your 30s, you start breaking down a lot. So
yeah, I've dislocated my shoulder a few times. Not gonna lie.
Broken bones?
No, I just show off, so I need to stop doing that.
Oh, gotcha. So, how did you guys initially meet?
Instagram.
Okay, and he was following you because of your exercise type stuff or athletic stuff?
I don't think so. He just randomly followed me. I suppose he saw a page and then liked the first 10 followers. How he told me he would find people to grow his followers, actually. And so he followed me by chance. He unfollowed me. Then I reached out to him in a video and I said,
I remember that.
You're rude and schrecklich, and I don't appreciate what you've done. And then he was intrigued by my video, and we started talking, and we hit it off, and we just kept talking every day.
And you were talking for how long before you actually decided to meet in person?
We decided to meet after about 2 months of talking, or month and a half, 2 months of talking, and then I booked my ticket to Tunisia, and that was the 3rd month. So after 3 months, we met face to face.
He speaks English pretty well, though, so you really didn't have a language barrier or anything like that.
No, not too bad. He's very intelligent. He speaks 4 languages, Arabic, French, and English, and pretty good Spanish as well.
But as far as like his understanding of the American culture and Western culture, it's pretty good. You guys didn't really have any lost in translation type issues?
I don't think so. If he didn't understand something, he would always ask me. Maybe if I was reacting to something and he didn't understand my reaction, there would be some miscommunications, but you just have to talk it out eventually.
Okay. All right, there's some people that are asking you that, what this is about. Okay, so this is Kendall. She's from Just Landed season 1. She was married to Heidi Zine. And Zine, okay. And he's from Tunisia, so that's who I'm talking to right now. So that's just a brief. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, you might just need to watch that series, or watch the series and episodes. So when you went to Tunis, Tunisia, or Garmouth, you said you met his whole family?
I did. I did not meet his father, which is unusual in Tunisian customs and culture. So I went there, spent time with him in La Marsa, visited Tunis, met his mother and sister in a cafe, and I gave them some gifts. I was just so happy to meet them. I'm like, oh, let me bring something. They were lovely. The mother is so sweet, and she's just this petite woman, and the sister has the most beautiful smile. She's so happy, made me feel like warm, loved, like connection instantaneously. During our engagement party, I did meet quite a lot of his extended family, a couple of nice male cousins, the uncles, many of his friends, all very kind, and they really made me feel welcome. They were like, wow, okay, this is wonderful, and I didn't have any issues with them. They're
Yeah, your sound is cutting out a little bit, so I'm not sure what's going on.
oh
Like every other word was cutting out.
what part was cutting out? I said that I did meet his extended family. I really liked his cousins, both male and female, and his uncles were very nice to me. They were saying, you know, alhamdulillah, that you're here, God, and, you know, welcome. And I never had any pushback or any negative things from his side of the family. I think he has a great family, you know, from what it's.
So you felt pretty comfortable around his family, and how many times did you actually go out to Tunisia before you decided to actually get married?
So wait, how many times did I go out there before deciding to get married?
Yeah.
Oh, the first trip was when we got engaged.
Okay, so just that one trip, and towards the end of that, or
And then we met in Brazil because it's easy for him to get a visa to Brazil. And I did get him a trip to Serbia that he went by himself for about a week. So he can go to Serbia. I didn't have time to do that. Then we met in Brazil, and then I went to Tunisia for about 3 days for his birthday in July of last year. And then he came here.
okay, but last year was he back in Tunisia for some reason, or
No, he never left Tunisia. He was always in Tunisia.
but when did he move to the United States? This was summer last year.
October 18th.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I was a little bit confused about that. So he lived with you from October up until recently.
Yes.
Okay. And you filed for the K-1?
February of 2019.
I see. It took that long for it to be approved? About 7 months?
Yeah, it took almost 7-8 months. Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
Yeah. But the spousal visa, I believe the CR1, CR2, that takes about a year, maybe 2 years.
I see. So you spent what, maybe about a week or two in Tunisia, and then he proposed to you?
Spent about a week and a half, and he proposed to me, and yeah, I felt comfortable. I seemed like he was, you know, the one, and I just went in with an open mind and an open heart, and figured I would, you know, continue to grow our relationship over long distance, and, you know, meet as much as possible. And I thought, like, he made me feel special. I really liked him, seemed we were like-minded, and he seemed really genuine and really all about me and building a future together.
I understand. So, do you feel that there was like a difference between your goals and his goals at the time at all?
We talked about our goals, and what he presented to me in my mind felt aligned with what I wanted to do in the future, not just having kids, having a house, having properties internationally, and opening a gym eventually too.
And what was he doing at the time in Tunisia, like as far as income wise?
He advised me that he did not have an income and that he was currently a student. And I came to find out that maybe he was not a student at the time. He never presented me a degree of his, and he finished his exams around February 17th, which is unlike any school calendar in the country or any school calendar that I'm aware of. So he said he was a student, and then he said he was driving buses to get his commercials driver's license. And then he said he was doing construction, but the man never had a tan and his weren't calloused when I saw him. And I just don't think he was driving a bus.
What was the last thing you said, that he was driving a bus?
Yeah, he was driving a bus to obtain his commercial driver permit so that he could work as a bus driver. But that took over 2 months, and he said it wasn't going anywhere, and he was driving the buses for free, so he sought another job in construction.
While he was living in Tunisia, were any times that he was requesting money from you?
No, but he did request gifts for his birthday, and when I first came there, and he also requested a trip to Serbia, which was around my birthday last year.
Mm-hmm. Any particular reason why he was going to Serbia? Did he tell you?
Yeah, because he was done with school, didn't feel like he got out that much, and he wanted a new adventure, a new trip. Yes, I should be a PI. I've done a lot. I'm very analytical. I can't turn off my analytical mindset. Maybe that's why
Yeah.
here today. But
this whole Serbia thing is so explain, did you see that as being a little suspicious for any reason?
At the time, I didn't want to be suspicious because as a recent MBA graduate, I was like, I totally get it. Like, you got to get out of here. You got to enjoy yourself. And then when he was there, I felt bad because he was enjoying everything without me around my birthday, and it just made me feel sad.
And that was for like what, 1 week or so?
Yeah, I think 5 days. And then all of his friends after that went to Serbia as well. So I guess he's a trendsetter.
That just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah, and when I was FaceTiming him one time, there was this long blonde hair that was on him, and I was like, I can see that through screen, FaceTime. And that was like, oh, I was not happy about that. But he kept in contact with me, so I don't know what the truth is, but I think he was just there because he wanted an adventure and to go skiing. So why Serbia? Because it was a cheap flight, and they allow people from other countries come in without needing a paper visa, e-visa, or to go through some sort of process with their government to obtain a visa to Serbia.
I see. And how old was he?
He's 26, so he was 24 at the time because he hadn't turned 25 yet.
And is there an age gap between you two?
I am 31 and he is 26.
Okay, so it's not that bad.
Not bad.
It's it's 5-year difference, but
do I look 31? I hope not. Kidding, don't answer.
No. Yeah, I'm in my 30s myself, but
yeah. They were like, you look like you're 40. I'm like, oh, thank you, appreciate it.
For me, it depends on what time I'm waking up in the morning, whether or not I had enough sleep to tell whether or not I look older or younger. So it all depends. Today I'm feeling a lot better. But did you feel that before he arrived that the love was actually genuine? Was there a lot of communications?
Yes, I felt that it was. genuine, and that's why I'm so surprised. There are so many, there, of course, with every relationship, you have ups and downs. I don't know if you want me to go into the ups and downs. However, I really felt that I felt that he was romantic, and I felt that he went out of his way to make me feel that he had my attention. I had attention, and he was always very affectionate, so I chose not to question things.
So he was a real good he was real good at finessing this relationship.
Well, appears so. So, first red flag was after I got back to the United States in January of 2019, pre K1 visa filing. We had exchanged social media information, and I had access to his, he had access to mine. I just felt like, we should be involved in each other's lives, since all we were sharing is a telephone message and Instagram at this point. So I felt that it was my right to do that. It's all I can do, really, to connect outside of iMessage and WhatsApp. So there was a message that came through, and it said, "I miss you in my soul." Why is he getting this message? So I reached out to the person, and come to find out, this woman, Heather, who's 50s, has kids, and is looking to get into fitness, to say it politely. She was messaging him, and I reached out to her, and her story was that he was engaged to her the same time he was engaged to me. So for 3 months, he's talking to her, and as he's shopping for my engagement ring, he's sending her videos and pictures of it, saying, "This is for you, my love," and he's not showing me any. And when I confronted him about this, he said that it was a mistake, and of course he's not going to show because it's for me, and like that was his excuse for it. And he said it was a mistake. He was talking to her before me, and he had a friend reach out to her from another Instagram account, and she was starting to talk to someone else, so he didn't think she was genuine, and so he didn't know how to let that situation go. But she gave him $200 for that suit that he wore to our engagement party.
So let's go back a little bit. This woman was from where?
Houston, Texas.
And what's her name? Her first name, at least.
Heather.
And was he still in contact with her after this point? Do you know?
After what point? After we engaged? No. Planning the party for her and also for me. So it's like, which one would get there first, it seemed like.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the one to take the bait. You're the one to take the bait first. Is that what he was trying to do?
Hey, I just led with my heart.
I know. I'm just, that's what it seems like. He was maybe there was a third woman. Who knows? Do you know if there was more than one?
I have no idea.
Wow. Yeah, somebody said Kendall was faster. Yikes. So she sent him the $200 for the suit that he wore at the party. Now, when he arrived here in October, how soon after that did you guys get married?
We got married. He arrived on the 18th, and we got married on the 29th.
1 week late, 1 week and a half later?
Yes. That was probably one of the worst days of my life. And I've had multiple injuries and disappointments athletically and personally in my life, but this was probably number one. It was sad. I really would have loved to have had a nice little something with friends and family, and he insisted it didn't matter. And so I put on a dress that my dear friend Katie gave to me, a white dress, flowers on it. And I washed my hair and put like mousse in it, put on makeup, drove Thank you. Drove to the courthouse, almost got a speeding ticket, freaked out. So I'm shaking going to just cops make me nervous, I mean, obviously, but we get there and I'm just like on edge, and we get married and we're reading the packet and he's like, you don't need to worry about the divorce portion. We should skip over that. I'm like, okay. So we get married in front of this like redheaded lady with her hair teased up. She was really nice, and we exchanged rings. It was the rings that he started wearing in Tunisia, and also my wedding ring. We didn't buy any extra rings. He didn't care about that. And then I went to work, and then I dropped him off at a job. I dropped him off at a job interview. Then I went to work, and I kind of didn't tell anyone that I got married. I didn't want like a big scene at work or people to be like, "Why are you at work?" You know, because I didn't want to deal with anyone really. So that night he was, you know, working out. He got tired. He wanted to go to bed early, and he didn't want to be intimate with me. In fact, we kind of got in a fight about it so bad where I like ripped the sheets off the bed, and I gotten like sassy and a little mean, but he went to sleep outside, and he left, and I found him on a park bench half asleep near the fishing pier, and I was like looking for him, like, where did you go, what did you do? And I had to like beg him for 10 minutes to get back to the house. Very sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, they didn't get married in Tunisia. They had an engagement party in Tunisia. Am I right? Yeah.
We did. We had a lovely party. It was so beautiful. Like, he was so romantic. I just
I mean, I saw the photos.
Every time I would question something, I'd go back to that beautiful party, back to the beautiful things and how lovely his family is. I just couldn't. It just didn't fit in my mind.
Yeah. So were there any other red flags between the time you went to Tunisia up until the time he arrived in the United States? Were there any other women that you saw as maybe possibly being a threat?
Yes.
And were they also Americans or?
Okay, so when we were in Brazil in May, you only know people on vacation, so I felt it was my right to look at him in not just social media, but like, who is he texting? Because last time I saw you texting someone, I saw numbers from all over the country in my country, and so I was like questioning that, like, what is this? Well, he had cleared all that out, cleared everything, and I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't check anything. I just, you know, enjoyed my trip. And then on the last day, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna scratch this itch and look. And I'm glad I did, and I know I shouldn't have. However, I found something. There was a 540 number in his phone, and I don't forget things, especially when there's an extreme emotional response to them.
Wait, 540 Virginia?
Yes.
Okay.
So this number is in his phone, FaceTiming. I left on my iPad, by the way. It's FaceTiming from multiple devices for multiple hours, multiple calls, and I took off my ring when I saw this, and I'm like, who are you talking to in the United States? Like, this is unbelievable. Like, I thought we were past this. This doesn't make sense to me. You should tell me who your friends are, you know? So he said that it was his cousin in the United States, and they were using a data sharing plan and using his, you know, iCloud account or something like that. So it's his cousin, right? Keep this in the back of your mind. God, this is such a terrible story. And he made me promise that we would always work things out, and no matter what. And I said, well, I don't want to be married to a cheater. Like, he sat me down on the beach that day, and he said, I can't believe you said that. I said, but I can't be with someone if they're cheating on me, but I will always try to work out everything with you and stuff. And so I get back to the United States. I did try to reach to his lovely cousin, and she's like, no, well, sounds like he wants to talk to other people, so maybe that's an excuse of why this in their phone. So I'm like, okay, kind of makes sense. Then I reach out to this person, and she lies and says that she's never talking to anyone from Tunisia, and that she's married. And then I reached to her again, and she cursed me out and sent me a screenshot of my messages that I sent her and said that I'm gonna effing block you. That was in May, June of 2019, so last year, almost a year ago.
Okay.
How long he was talking to this person from Virginia. So fast forward to July, I go to Tunisia for 3 days to celebrate his birthday. We had a blast. I met his friends. I met his friends' wives. They're amazing people. And I love all of them. Like, great families, solid. Like, you have normal friends. Your friends, you're a good guy if you can keep these friends, because they're, you know, they're with their wives and they're wanting to start families and things like that. They're, you know, you are who your circle is. Like, look to your closest friends. That's who you are. Mm-hmm. And I just felt comfortable. I was like, okay, he has friends. Like, he's talking to people. I'm just going to put it from my mind a little bit. So I look at his phone one more time, but it's all cleaned, and I go to his emails, and there are active matches for Hinge and also Tinder email confirmations that were dating back to like May and June, right before I got there. So I just don't understand how to have active matches with a deactivated account. Didn't make sense for me. So we fought about that and cried about that, and I felt really bad, but he never felt bad for actually having that stuff. He was like, oh, these are old accounts. I'm like, okay, all right, well, makes sense. Yeah.
So the Tinder, was you discovered that earlier on?
No, I didn't even know he had a Tinder account.
But they don't have Tinder in Tunisia, right? So he'd be matching with people in the United States.
No, they do.
They do?
Yep.
Okay.
To my knowledge. I also, oh man, this was another thing that I did. I paid for a service to look up like local Tinder accounts in the area, and I saw like one or two of his friends actually. I forgot I did this, and I was looking for his picture through a couple different age groups, and I didn't see it, so it didn't even like. I was like, okay, I felt better. I was like, okay, I'm putting this aside. He doesn't have active dating apps active, so I'm like, okay, no problem. Yes, Paige said that Tinder is international. So, oh boy. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, too many red flags already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um.
Oh, and this was another thing. Apparently, when I went over there, I gave him my access to my FAU email. I don't even know. And when I went to look at my Google Map for history for my FAU account, I saw that he was not where he said he was supposed to be. And before he came here, this is before he came to the United States, like maybe a week before. He almost come because of this. I found out that he was in a hotel, but he was telling me his father was having a diabetic episode and was vomiting and stuff. And he couldn't talk to me because he was in the hospital for like 8+ hours. And I saw like him go to this hotel, and it was there at the time he texted me when his phone died. And then when he turned his phone back on, he texted me saying like, oh, he's you know, going home. And he texted me from home, and then I saw him like the dot went to home, and he texted me, and it was like the same timestamp. And I saw he said he was working in construction, but I would see like different cafes at his location, and then like it moving around to different areas. It was very strange. It just seemed like he was not where he should have been. And the geotag was sometimes wrong, because sometimes it would have me in America if I used the maps, but everything was like in Tunisia. at different cafes and things like that. So that
So
was,
when you're talking about geotags and the docs and stuff, did you have did you give him like an iPhone or something to use?
he has an iPhone 10.
Okay, so did you have like sharing or something like that?
I don't even,
Location sharing?
he, I think, was logged into my FAU
No.
Gmail somehow. I
Okay.
know my email, so we would share stuff. I would let him log into all my stuff. I don't care. I think it was for like email stuff or tickets or something. I just gave it to him. And I guess it logged into his phone, and I could see his location history through Google Maps using my FAU account. Crazy.
Okay. So this was shortly before he arrived here?
Yes, that was, yeah, that was like almost a week before. And he almost called me to rip up the visa in front of me to prove that he wasn't using me to come to the United States. Like he wanted to end things after I questioned him and came at him. And he was so insulted because that his father was sick and how dare I and all this other stuff. I lost my mind.
Did you cross-reference this stuff with any of his friends or family, all this stuff that he was telling you?
I tried not to. That's a problem between me and my, fiance. So why would I bring drama into someone else's lives? I really tried to look inside of myself to solve problems, and that's not going to go to someone and complain because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe I'm wrong. I work in telecom. I know where the towers are. I understand how like the whole coordination of the network.
Yeah, like triangulation and how that all works.
Yeah, I know where the nodes are for when just you're in a hotel. Like it's so accurate. You have like a router right there. Like it's very like that address. Oh
Yeah. Okay, so we might need to do a whole nother live after this because
oh
we only got like an hour. It sounds like there's a lot to this.
oh yeah, I haven't even gotten to when he got here.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just so glad I haven't cried.
I think you're keeping yourself amused, and actually, so many people are like amazed at like your 007 skills. Everybody's calling you Kendall 007. That could be your new handle.
Oh,
Kendall PI.
that's funny. Oh man, I don't know what to say about that. I really tried to let go of a lot of what I found, and that's why I didn't go to people until I really, thought that it's not me. And I really want people to be aware when you find a red flag, believe yourself, believe your intuition. And I feel like I drove myself crazy going against what I saw and how I felt. And I feel a lot of guilt for my emotional reactions and overreactions after finding certain things, and I will take full responsibility. And I'll tell you the things that I've done. I'm not a perfect person. I just I just would like honesty, reciprocated honesty and loyalty. And I don't feel that I had that when he turned his back or when he wasn't with me. And I was always very anxious about that. And just
That's a good way to put it. Reciprocating honesty and loyalty. And when he actually arrived here, you felt like that was missing.
Well, he was so loving and affectionate when we were at home and would get into arguments. It started a lot of, but it was based on how I felt or how felt I was being treated. And I will certainly get into more of the things that I found and why I felt justified in how I acted and what I did. But I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to take up another 45 minutes of your time.
Oh no, I'm free. I think this is going to be interesting and probably a lesson learned for a lot of people, or lesson learned on your behalf, but something that some other women probably should take as advice. That's my feeling about it. And also, it's always good to kind of set the record straight before some other people decide they want to control the information flow. That's my thought.
Absolutely. For both men and women, if you have questions and the person is not answering them appropriately or making you comfortable, just remember the best apology is changed behavior. If they do not change, if they just give you words, look at what they're doing. Period. Period.
Now, one second.
Listen.
I might need to get a backup battery pack for a second. Hold on one second.
Sure. Hi, Sam. Hey, Santi. I'm smiling now because I'm so, it's just ridiculous. I have to smile. If I don't,
All right. So, now when you said when he arrived, there were no real issues at home. But it's interesting that you said that.
Hold on. Day one, we got bullshit. Day two, something tells me to check, scratch the itch. I should not have. Because now remember that 540 number, remember that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so after it being his cousin, it's not his cousin. He doesn't know that number. He gets too many numbers from all over. He has friends all over the world, right? Just keep that in the back of your mind. That was his excuse. This number texts him on his iWatch on October 17th. Now he's here on the 18th, right? He almost didn't come on that, that day because his flight got delayed or canceled or something. They wouldn't let him on the plane. There was an issue looking up the confirmation number, and I bought him a ticket that same day, got him there that same day. But I watched that's from the 540 number, and it said Amor with 3 O's, like Amor. I got upset. I said, "Who is texting you, Amor? This is the number that you said was your cousin, and now you say you don't know who this number is. Talking to this person, you were FaceTiming with them in May, texting you love. Who is Amor? Are you someone else's love?" Do you want me to keep going? Go to the next instance.
This is, but none of this stuff was really. It didn't make it on the show because you said this was the second day.
I was trying, yeah, but I didn't even talk about health. I didn't even talk about Brazil and Laura and the number I found or the profiles or how he was still following random people from all over the world and not, unfollowing them. It was just very, I really tried to not spread as much drama because I really wanted to make things work, and I didn't want to humiliate not only myself but him. I really wanted to move past that and not put that out there publicly for I don't know who to see. I really tried to keep to myself and work on.
Yeah, I understand. I know Arabs as a culture, public humility is not something that is common in that side of the world. And
not, you should, if you have a problem, you should try and solve it at home first.
Yeah.
But when you need to admit to yourself when you need help.
Yeah, exactly. But and here's where I was gonna go with this. Because of that, these types of things tend to go swept under the rug too many times, and now this has gone too far. And I think maybe maybe it should have been brought out earlier. What do you think?
I don't think that Heidi reflects all of the Arabs out there. If the country is very different, I don't think that if the family truly knew, because they're such a nuclear, culturally, they're strong in their faith and strong to their nuclear families. And I think that their faith really does drive their moral code. And they really don't, they would rather not cause drama. You know, Allah as a punitive God, in my opinion. I'm not Muslim by any means, but I think that in this situation, Hedy felt justified somehow of something that I did or how he felt towards me. I just think that he personally felt that he wasn't doing anything wrong. And I don't feel that his family knew what he was doing, because every time I spoke to his lovely friends and family, they were telling me like, oh my gosh, Hedy talks about you all the time and this, that, and the other. Like, and when I told them about these stories, they're like, no, there's something wrong. Like, you both did something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he reflects all cultures and values of the Arab countries on the other side of the world at all. But I do understand that these things do happen often. There's bad people all over the world, but I suppose that in countries that are not as Western, that these things do happen. You know, they try to have a different life.
Yeah, it's a different way to handle that type of situation.
I guess so. I don't know what these people think or what they have in their mind. I don't know. It's not something my mind can process.
Yeah. So from October on, you know, a lot of this stuff wasn't shown on the show, but was it a pretty good relationship, like once you got married, or were there any persistent issues?
Yeah, I mean, other than him trying to sleep on a park bench on our wedding night and not being, you know, not acting as a newly couple should in our, you know, at home, he was great at cooking. He really made me feel like in small moments that he cared. He would reach to me and always, you know, he would come up behind me, hug me in the kitchen. Small things like that. I just felt really on edge anytime he was on his phone, because he would start closing his phone around me and I could see like he's on Instagram and I'd be like, really? Like, be here with me now. Because I didn't even want to spend time on my phone. I was like so happy to just be alone with him and making memories with him. But I felt like he was always talking to of course you talk to your family, of course you talk to your friends, you should not lose those connections. And I hope I'm being overly controlling in that, but I felt like it was eking up so much time and energy from his side and his mind. Like, you have no responsibilities, so why can't you just make me a responsibility, the home, you know, your priority, and you should. So I just felt like the phone was always an issue, and he changed his backdrop from me to Goku, the Dragon Ball Z thing. And then, yeah, he changed his password because he didn't want me to like check it out or anything. And red flags. Yeah, he would go out of the house to have phone calls and stuff. And then I caught him on the phone at the gym with the 540 number talking to her for like 15 minutes. And I took his phone from him. We had a huge fight. I like ran out of the gym with it. I was such a child. I probably should not have done that, but I literally saw red and I just ran out and he chased me and we had like a very big argument. I called one of my friends and I was like, you gotta get me out of here. Like, I need to come spend the night with you or something. And he wanted me to come home. I felt like I had to go to the extreme to get him to like understand how I felt. Cause he did the same thing. Like, sometimes he would just like leave the house and not come back for hours. You get mad at me for questioning him.
Well, I mean, that's kind of normal, I guess. You know, if you don't want to, you know, escalate something, you do leave and just cool off and stuff.
I'm more of
Best
a
way to.
sit down and talk about it like calmly. I like to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to talk. He always wanted to like leave, and I guess I have abandonment issues. So I had a problem with that, and I didn't feel very secure with him doing that. And he would go and not answer my phone calls or anything. He would just leave. I hated it. That was, I found that number. You want me to keep going about all the red flags in like chronological order?
Well, no, we could go into that, but
They're ridiculous.
were there a lot of good, good times? I mean, did you guys get to do any vacations? I mean, there was only maybe a few month period before the pandemic.
Yeah, we did all right. He kind of, for me, after Ramadan, we did Ramadan together, and that was lovely. We would try and make as many lovely memories at home. I felt like we watched a bunch of anime series together. We never went on dates because he always wanted to cook at home. I felt like we could go together, but eventually he started telling me that he didn't enjoy going to the gym with me. He wanted free time, and that he asked me if I had my own personality to go and do things by myself and go to the gym by myself. So we never really got to enjoy the one thing that really brought us together, which was the gym. Mm-hmm. He would go on walks by himself, which is fine, but I always felt like he was talking behind my back, because sometimes I would go out and like he'd be gone for like an hour or so. I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to go for a walk, so I would go, and then I would find him speaking English to that number, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, let's go back in the house. Like, let's like enjoy.
Did you ever discover who this 540 number actually was?
Yes. Do you want me to tell you her first and last name?
No, you don't have to go there. But was it a family member, or was it?
I don't even know who this person is. He said he met her on Instagram before me. Okay. Actually, one of his friends in Canada follows her on Instagram too. I saw this was back when Instagram, you could look up someone's number based on just like put it in your contacts. Yeah. Just do for WhatsApp, and I saw who she was.
I see.
Instagram account, and like
no, fanatic. No, we're not gonna dox people's full information over here. I'm sorry. You know what, fanatic? I'm sure you could probably figure it out. She just explained how she figured it out.
I have resources.
Okay, so it's just some random woman that he was talking to before he met you.
Apparently, Instagram.
On Instagram. Do you suspect that they actually met with each other?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea. Because he said he never met her. And then he went back and forth like, I don't know who this number is. I don't know who Laura is. Da, 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 da. And plenty of people.
Fucking Laura. So there's.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Laura.
Just give her a name.
Yeah. All right. And after that that time that you discovered him talking to her at the gym, did you see him talk to her again? Or?
Yes. Yeah. She. So.
Oh my God! This guy doesn't stop, does he?
I stop. I even reached out to one of his nice friends that I met in Tunisia before, and I don't know what's going on, but it's happening, and I just need to know, like, I'm not crazy. And he was always like trying to tell me, if you keep looking, this relationship would end badly. I would see her. He connected his phone one time to the car, and I was just like putting in something. I saw it connected in recent calls, numbers, her numbers. So I'm like, okay, call.
Oh, oh my God.
He would block her number, and she would block his number, like for what reason? And so he got mad, and the story of that was, oh, I was adding numbers to my phone because I'm trying to get a new job, and No, not as Laura and Aladdin. Are you kidding me?
No, no, Laura's in Canada. Um, so,
Oh yeah, and then I would see it come through anytime like he plugged his phone in the car. It like would pop up on WhatsApp, and yeah, it would be like text messages would come in on the AT&T like recent text message list. I didn't look for it. I just like labeled the phone number as Heidi's girlfriend, and he hated that thing. So anytime I, like go to see if there's any international stuff, data overages, I would just check my account like a normal person. And sometimes I got alerts, and I'm like, this is not okay.
this is hilarious. That's a good troll right there. If like he didn't want to stop talking to her, and then you label it as Eddie's girlfriend. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a way to kind of shame him in a personal way between you and him. But so you got married a week and a half after he got here.
Mm-hmm.
Was he eligible for a work permit soon thereafter, or?
Oh yeah, he got his work permit, and he was such a hard worker. He was working very hard. However, he lied to me about how much money he was making since day one. So he didn't let me be on his accounts. He didn't like want to share anything with me, like debit pin information. And I'm the one going, hey, since we're gonna do your green card, we need to look like we're married. Mm-hmm. So you access to my credit card and put your name on my insurance and all this other stuff. And he's like, doesn't care. Like I tried to instill responsibility into this person, and he wasn't with it. He just like, whatever, didn't care or didn't understand. I don't know.
So was he working doing
he was working
bus driver?
Yeah, he was working in a nice little cafe in Delray Beach. It's popping all the time. It's a beautiful little area. Great food, great people, like salt of the earth. I can't say enough wonderful things about this cafe and the family that owns it. And they really took him in and did, like, he was in a great environment, meeting people from all over the world, even celebrities. So he was in a stimulating, wonderful, safe environment, making good money. And then he got a second job at a French restaurant, and he loved that. Got to use French every day. He was using French, Spanish, English, Arabic. Like, it was good.
Yeah, that's good to
actually
utilize.
Work, but was it to get out of the house, or was it to actually save money for both of us? But anytime I asked him for money, it was kind of a lot of pushback. Meanwhile, I'm kind of, trying to pay off bills and debt and stuff that I accrued over like the past 2 years. So.
I mean, we don't need to go into the financial issues. So he obviously worked soon after he got his work permit, which is a good thing. And did you guys share in your expenses at all, or was that also an issue?
Well, it became an issue during COVID because before he was, paying for gas and groceries, which was amazing. No, he never paid me for Serbia, for husband and wife. So it's not a tit for tat, yes, or keeping tabs kind of thing. I didn't really want it to be like that. I just wanted him to have some responsibility, period. And he took care of the gas and groceries, and I guess that expense got to be too much for him. So during COVID, he's like, I can't do it anymore. So I was paying for everything, and for a couple months until he got, back to work. And then I asked him for money, and if he had to Uber for something, he would try to send me less money because he used Uber, because he was saying he was only making like $45 to $50 a day. And then I confirmed like that was a lie. Like he was lying about money the entire time, never let me see how much he had, and was always difficult for me to ask money from him. And I felt embarrassed because I'm his sponsor, I'm his wife, I should be supporting myself. And I have things that I'm paying off because I have my own expenses, school and car and things like that. So I just wanted to save. I wasn't really saving any money. I was kind of just hemorrhaging.
Yeah, I understand. We only got 45 seconds left on this live, so what I'm going to do is we're gonna end it in a second, and then we're gonna start it again. Do you have enough time?
Oh, yes, I do. My mother may come home, so she may say hello.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, let's go ahead and end this. Everybody, if you want to come and rejoin us, I'll be back live in a second. Okay.